Daley Thompson's Decathlon was released in 1984, published by Ocean Software. Chris Akabusi, Sharon Davies, Roger Black, and several of the athletes from the TV show The Gladiators paid visits to your school in the 1980s and 90s. During this time, the most popular athletes even had their own video games. Boxing games featured Barry McGuigan and Frank Bruno. Snooker featured Steve Davis and Jimmy White. For football, you had Gary Lineker, Emlyn Hughes, and Bobby Charlton. Finally, for cricket, you had Ian Botham. However, by the 2000s, this had completely gone. What destroyed our respect for athletes in the UK after the 1990s? In retrospect, I personally believe, first, the emergence of reality TV made it possible for any loser with no inherent worth or skill to become a star. Second, the rise of cable and satellite TV meant, as families, we stopped sitting down to watch the big national weekend shows, which always included athletes as guests. Third, athletes, such as Daley Thompson, seemed like natural heroes in the 1980s, but sports became increasingly corporate in the 1990s. Athletes were collaborating with Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and Merlin's Premier League stickers. I received a mini Coke ball and a sticker book at several of these sporting events. Fourth, the collapse of British sporting dominance. Fifth, video game companies simply no longer needed athletes to sell games. So let's look at the game that most people will mention when asked to provide an example of an athletic game on the spectrum. This being Decathlon, although Thompson had two other games made, Super Test in 1985 and Olympic Challenge in 1988. Decathlon was one of the best-selling games of 1984. I'm not going to talk about those other games since I've never owned them. Therefore, I'm not going to revise history and add them to my list 38 years later through an emulated experience. This game is a button masher that will give you arthritis. A similar mechanic was utilized in games like Mortal Kombat's minigame, Test Your Might. In each event, you only have 3 lives, and you must fulfill the qualifying score of each event. The game is divided into 2 days. Day 1 events are on side 1 of your cassette, while Day 2 events are on the flip side. Day 1 events. The first event is the 100-meter sprint. To qualify, you must complete the race in under 13.50 seconds. The second event is the long jump. To qualify, you must make a leap of 6.5 meters or more. The third event is the shot put. To qualify, you must throw the shot put over 15.50 meters. The fourth event is the high jump. To qualify, you must make a leap of higher than 2.25 meters. The high jump takes the longest to finish of all the Day 1 events. The fifth and final Day 1 event is the 400-meter sprint. To qualify, you must finish the race in under 42 seconds. It is evident that the creators did not consider Daley Thompson's own records when deciding the qualifying standards. People claim Daley was involved in the creation of this game, but I believe if he had, he would have made his records extremely clear. Day 2 events. The sixth event is the 110 meters hurdles. To qualify, you must finish the race in under 14.50 seconds. This is by far the most difficult event on Day 2. The seventh event is the pole vault. To qualify, you must leap above 4.40 meters. The eighth event is the discus. To qualify, you must throw the discus over 50 meters. The ninth event is the javelin. To qualify, you have to throw the javelin over 60 meters. The 1,500-meter race is the 10th and final event. To qualify, you must finish the race within 310 seconds. As brothers, we would keep track of our highest scores in each event. We enjoyed beating this game and watching Thompson on the podium. The other unforgettable moments were us whistling the game's theme tune, watching Daley fail and then scratch his head. Lastly, seeing the audience go berserk as Daley wins an event.
I'm sure you've heard the words, "This is the way." But have you ever stopped to feel their weight? The Mandalorian is more than a story, it's a code. A creed about loyalty, found family, and the journey of redemption. So as we wrap up, remember, whether you're forging your own path or standing by those who matter most is the way. Hit subscribe, and let's explore the galaxy together.